So then, Liam, during your time in education, what career did you have in mind?
Well, first and foremost, I wanted to be a footballer, but I worked out, early enough into my education that wasn't going to be the case. And from that point, really, I went on a bit of a journey and explored a number of areas. But I just wanted something that would kind of be different and give me plenty of variety each day, something that would stretch me and challenge me. And ultimately, that's how I found myself working in football still, albeit in the administration side of the game.
So what sort of next step did you take to get involved in the industry that you picked?
Well, after leaving school, I actually went into an apprenticeship in sports coaching within a football club, and from that point I was really fortunate because the apprenticeship route and programme ultimately enabled me to get real life work experience, which was obviously critically important at that stage, but then equally I was able to still be learning and still be in part-time education. So I think the blend of both actually suited me and my learning styles, and equally the fact that I wanted to get out into the working world, it suited me really well, and ever since that time really I've continued on that pathway, various jobs, various different sectors, but continuously making sure that I was always still in some form of part-time education.
So you mentioned you sort of learned on the job and you felt that was a really effective way of learning, and that's now helped you build up the ladder. Can you sort of speak us through your day-to-day life in your current role?
Yeah, so day-to-day life as Chief Executive of Football is interesting. It can be really varied. It can be anything from the finance side and the business side. So, writing business plans, working with the finance team or working with the commercial team. But then equally, of course, there's the other side of it, which is the sporting side. So being involved in player transfers, recruitment, and all the side of the game that I suppose many football fan would like to see. And I think that's where you do get that nice balance. And I think the best thing for me really is the fact that throughout my career, all the transferable skills that I've been picked up, they might be in different settings or different industries, but they're the things that have really helped me, throughout the period and throughout my role as a chief executive.
So some advice for sort of school leavers and the people going into the next step of their education. What sort of advice would you have for someone who wants to succeed in this industry we work in?
I think the first of all is you're constantly learning and making sure that you've always got an open mind in terms of the environment or the situation that you find yourself in. Quite honestly, throughout my career, I've left school. I've been out of education full time for nearly 20 years now, and throughout those periods, I've done some quite difficult jobs and things that haven't been that enjoyable. But always taking the maximum from those experiences, making sure that you're still learning from those opportunities, I think are the key elements really. And to find yourself in football, or to find yourself in an industry, that I'm lucky to work in, has ultimately come down to a number of things. I'd like to think hard work's one of them, but equally that dedication to that ongoing learning, and making sure that I'm always trying to find new knowledge, new information, as well as getting that working life experience has been critically important. And then of course relationships really matter, and I think the one thing that I think I've been really fortunate along the way is I've been lucky enough to have some really good bosses and mentors and people that I feel I've served and done a good job for them, but equally they've been very fair to me and supported me, and in that relationship, that any employer-employee relationship, I feel like I've given as much as I had to give, and equally they've been very kind and very caring to me, and equally given me opportunities as well for me to grasp.